Hi CPS friends, it's Teacher Jen, and I'm going to read Harriet today by Deborah Inkpen. But I thought we'd sing first. Remember the song we sing before we read? I like to do it with pretend glasses in a pretend book. It goes like this. These are my glasses and this is my book. I put on my glasses and open up my book. And then I read, and I look. Then I take off my glasses and close up my book. Now I'm going to put on my real glasses and I'll get my real book. It's upside down. It's about Harriet. And it tells me a little bit about the book on the back. It says, Harriet has escaped from her cage, and now she is free. But the garden is not always such a friendly place when you are a little hamster. So already we can tell a little bit about this story. It's going to be about a lost pet. I've never owned a hamster as a pet before. Maybe you have. All right, here we go. One thing I noticed when I opened up this book to the first page with the pictures is there's this picture here of this flower pot with these red flowers, and it reminded me of my flowers that I have right behind me here. I thought that was kind of fun. All right, here we go. Harriet has escaped. Her cage was old, some of the bars were bent. She has gnawed at them with her teeth, pushed at them with her paws, and eventually they had moved just enough, and now she was free. Before her lay a huge carpet of green. Above her, giant plants spread their leafy fingers, and over them all stretched the blue sky. Harriet's whiskers quivered, her nose twitched, the air was full of new sounds and new smells. She scampered along the garden path, nosing this way and that. A dark shadow passed above her. Harriet scurried for cover. The shadow flew into a tree and started to sing. I think the shadow was the bird. A rich, earthy scent led Harriet into the vegetable patch. She nibbled a spiky leaf. It tasted strange. Then she nibbled some lettuce. That tasted good. The carrots and the cabbages were good too, but she didn't like the slugs. They were horrible. Ooh, can't imagine eating a slug. Doesn't sound tasty, even if you're a hamster. Harriet, I'm going to switch sides. Harriet paused to sniff the air. A weedy, watery smell made her feel thirsty. She followed the smell to the edge of a murky pond. As she leaned over to drink, a big, warty toad popped up its head. Harriet jumped and went plummeting into the pond. Plop! The little hamster bobbed to the surface like a cork. The water was cold and full of green, slimy weed that clung to her fur. Gasping and sputtering, she paddled to the edge and scrambled out, a tiny, soggy, angry heap of fur. Oh, look at Harriet. She's angry, huh? I think she's cold. The tiny heap of fur shook itself, smoothed down its coat, cleaned its whiskers, and turned back into a little hamster. Harriet yawned sleepily. Quite an adventure when you're used to living in a little cage. Wow, look at that beautiful big tree. Here's a good place to sleep, thought Harriet, under the apple tree with lots of small holes. Something disappeared into one of them. She peered down the hole. A small face looked out. It stared at Harriet with black, beady eyes. You see? Looks like maybe a little mouse right here. can't come in here," said a little gray mouse. "Only mice live here." "You're not a mouse," said another. "You haven't got a tail." "What are you?" asked a third. Harriet told them that she was a hamster, and she did have a tail. She turned around to show them. They seemed unimpressed. "There's no room for hamsters here," they said, "only mice." And they vanished down the little hole. Harriet tried sleeping inside a flower pot, but the cobwebs stuck to her whiskers. The watering can made scary echoing noises, and a funny old glove looked inviting but smelled musty. Near the apple tree was a compost heap. Harriet nosed her way inside. It was dark and warm. "Perhaps this will be a good place to sleep," she thought. But she had not seen the large prickly shape buried under the leaves. The hedgehog did not like being awakened. It uncurled itself, grunting angrily, and rushed at Harriet. Here are the first couple of places she tried. And then here's the angry hedgehog. Let's see. It's hard to see him hiding in that little compost bin. Not really a bin, more of a bracken. Harriet ran across the open lawn, tripping and rolling and running again. Some wire netting blocked her path. She pushed her nose underneath and wriggled through. Scrambling up the side of a low wooden shed, she found herself on the roof. She scampered this way and that, looking for a place to hide. Under the eaves was a dark hole. Harriet scrambled through and tumbled into the darkness. Oh, I wonder if this hole right here is where she went in. Wonder where she's going to go. Squawk! A huge, foolish-faced creature flapped its wings and rushed around the coop. Uh-oh, look where Harriet fell. Harriet dived beneath a nest of warm eggs and watched as the hens scattered in every direction. Gradually, the noise died down and the air began to clear. A big, fat, feathery body plumped down on top of her. She snuggled back, feeling safe and warm, and at last she fell asleep. Here's what it looked like when she first landed, and then here, when she got cozy under that hen. Harriet did not awaken when the hen left the nest. She did not awaken when chubby fingers began to collect the eggs, nor did she awaken when a delighted voice squealed, "Oh, there you are, Harriet!" The sleepy little hamster was placed carefully into an egg basket. "Come on then," said the voice. "Let's take you home." But Harriet did not hear. She did not even stir. Oh, I bet Harriet's owner was happy to find her, but wondered probably how Harriet got all the way to the hen house. It was a long path, wasn't it? And that's the end of the story. Have you ever lost a pet before? I hope you found them. I bet your pet was scared, and you might have been scared too. Well, thank you for joining me today for Harriet. Okay, bye, friends.